With this Friday's weekend in interest rates. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. So here's the deal. We're going to get right into these rates because either you're looking to buy a home, which interest rates can impact how much you pay. It's also going to impact the amount of competition out there. If you've been looking long enough, you can almost tell when rates fall because more people come out. And then when rates go up, people start doing other things during the weekend. This is also for people that have already bought. Congratulations. That was really smart because now you get to watch as rates decrease. You get to lock in your home price and you get the benefit of a lower interest rate, a lower payment. So we're going to talk a little bit about both here. So what do you say we get started here? So if you take a look at the rates from this week to last week, there's going to be a smidge. It's probably, a smidge increase. And, not a lot happened this week. In terms of news, there's nothing that was really moving for the market. So it stayed relatively static. So I do want to take this time to really think about some of the lessons that we've learned over the past month as it relates to when interest rates dip. Now, the Feds came out, the interest rates dipped, everyone got very excited. We were locking people in the mid fives, but I need to remind you, when rates drop, typically they follow the same pattern as if you were to drop a rubber ball on the ground. It's going to drop. Then once it hits its floor, it does bounce back up really quickly, not all the way up, but typically about halfway, maybe a little bit less. And that's exactly what we saw. So here's the thing. Some of you out there got greedy. You wanted just a little bit more, and you lost the opportunity to refinance this time. Now, the good news is, truthfully, I do think you're going to have another opportunity. I don't know when it's going to be. Probably not this year, maybe beginning of next year. But when that opportunity comes, I hope you remember the lesson that we learned here is you can't predict where that floor is. And once it hits that floor, the rates jump back up. And we don't want you missing another opportunity to refinance or to lock in your interest rate if you're in contract. So typically what we want to do, especially as it relates to refinancing, is we want to find that target rate for you. That rate where, and by the way, it's not the lowest interest rate. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually referring the highest interest rate that you will see out there that if you did not get, you would completely regret not locking. That's a big difference than saying, hey, just a lower one. So that requires some thought. If you want help with that, let's set up a time. You can hit that QR code up there and set up a time, and we'll go over at what, the amount of savings you'll get when rates hit a certain point. And let's figure out that target rate, because once it hits it, good old Paul here is going to lock that for you and start helping you and your family save some money. So those are the lessons that we've learned. And I already blew it. I missed this right here. I wish I can go back and bring this target rate up. So we've already had that conversation. Super important. Reach out, QR code, blah, blah, blah. Cool slide. All right, let's move on. Now, if you're out there shopping for homes, or if your current rate is at 7% or higher, you want to reach out. Let's connect. That rate is way too high, especially if you're buying a house now. Or perhaps, and you're using a conventional or jumbo financing. Some QR or non-QM loans, such as bank statements, asset programs, they're going to be in the sevens. That's okay. But we're talking about VA, FHA, and conventional. Give Paul a call. Let's save you some money, especially if you are refinancing or looking for a home. So what happened this week? This is actually really good news. And it's actually a predictor of where people think interest rates are going to go. Let me see if I can make this just a tad bigger. We do. We're going to come back here. So this is the home builder sentiment. Anything above 51, they're feeling positive. Anything 50 or below, or 0 to 49, the builders are feeling negative. So current sales expectations, if we compare it to October 23rd to September to October 24th, they've stayed relatively the same, about 46, 45, 47. So that's a pessimistic feeling. But take a look. My friends, take a look at that future sales expectation. In September 2024, in October 2024, we're seeing an increase in optimism over future sales, which indicates that builders believe that interest rates are going to decline. So you most likely will have another opportunity to refinance or buy a property at a lower rate. But especially if you're buying, I need you to listen to this. So waiting for rates to drop isn't always the best idea, because take a look at the new home construction. We're not building homes. This is the biggest problem that we're facing. Even above interest rates, there's not enough homes. Now, I know there's homes sitting on the market, and some houses just are overpriced, and that's just what it's going to be. Is some people want more for their house than it should, but a properly priced loan is moving relatively fast in this market. There's exceptions to that rule. I got to be careful here, but that's the general. That's a general feeling among the realtors that I work with. So as long as we have a supply issue, especially when rates start dropping, you're going to see that demand increase. Low supply, high demand. That can only equal one thing. If I remember anything from high school or college, is that prices are going to continue to increase. It's a good time to be a homeowner, I tell you. All right. So here's the deal. If we're not working together, we should. There's a QR code. It's called a Hopes and Dreams. Let's see what's possible. We're not going to take applications. We're not going to pull credit. We're not going to do all that crazy stuff. Look, I've been doing this for 20 years. I feel like Austin Powers, 20 freaking years. Utilize my experience to let me help you situate yourself and your family to save money. If you want to work with us, great. I would love to do your loan. Absolutely. But first, let me give you some advice. Let me help you structure stuff. Let me help you figure out which debts to pay off, what your payments are going to be. We're here to support you and your family. Paul Olbrantz, Clear to Close Brokers. And I believe that's it. Have a great weekend.